first pitch underway. Farazi delivers it low. So first pitch, first ball for Farazi. Jonathan Kim, leadoff batter for the Wolverines. That one swung on and a beautiful strike coming through from Farazi. Kim batting .292 on the season. The 1-1. That one low and inside, so another ball and Kim gets ahead of the count. The 2-1 offering for Farazi. This one swung on and a beautiful strike coming through once again. Got him on that changeup.
Yeah, nice sequence of pitches so far for Farazi. Let's see if he speeds him up again.
Farazi likes to go fastball, slider, change. We'll see what happens on the 2-2. This one swung on and fouled back into the net.
Yeah, sequence of pitches looking like a fastball there. Was late, as you could see, for Kim.
Kim just caught that one on top of the bat, late as you mentioned, but we'll see what he can do here. And Farazi, the 2-2 count, still has a ball to give. This one swung on and sent foul over to the third base line. Nick Williams over in left field was chasing after it, but decided that that one was not worth the trouble as it's headed towards the Spartan bullpen. So the sixth pitch of at bat coming through, count still even at 2. That one coming low and trying to frame it in that catcher position was Sam Thompson, but that one was held low, and a good call by home plate umpire Sean Howard. Get a look at Mitch Voit on deck for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that was a close call, but good on the umpire. I thought that was a ball too.
The full count offering inside, and Farazi's gonna give up his first walk of the afternoon, and Kim will easily take first base. So Michigan State gives up a runner, and the Wolverines now runner on first and nobody out. That one just coming low and inside for Kim. So now that brings up Mitch Voit for the Wolverines. Batting .290 on the season. First pitch coming through, and that's a beautiful strike inside, right over the plate.
It's a great job by Farazi, you know, not losing his composure too much and just getting back in the game.
Big leadoff over there on first for Kim. The 0-1. That one caught low once again, trying to go to that slider and just hung it on the outside corner. So the 1-1 pitch. That one swung on, and a beautiful pitch coming through from Farazi. He went right back to the slider, Brad, and he found it in the right spot.
Yeah, beautiful pitch. That is a great slider by Farazi. Very hard to hit those.
Farazi ahead of the count now at 1-2. Big leadoff for Kim. Pitch coming through and fouled back into the net. So the 1-2 coming through from Farazi. This one swung on and grounded over to third, and bobbled it was Kark, unable to get the play down, and now runners are going to advance. Kim trying to score. He has the step. Spartans trying to get it in, and Kim will score and draw the first blood of the game for the Wolverines. Michigan in front 1-0, and that's going to go through as an advancement on a double for Voit. And Kim got on his horse when he saw that play coming through from Kark. Kark just going on the overthrow after he was unable to get that grounder to his glove.
Yeah, that was very. I would have held that, but that was good base running by Michigan.
So the first pitch coming through foul for our key player of the afternoon that we mentioned in the open, Brad, Stephen Hrustich.
Yeah, Hrustich has had he did have the home run yesterday, which was huge for Michigan in trying to claw their way back in the eventual loss.
The 0-1 coming through high, so count gets even at 1 apiece. Again, over on second is Voit. He's able to have that single and advance to second on the air. The 1-1. This one swung on and chopped over to Bush. Bush is going to hand it over to Farazi, who covers first, but that won't stop Voit from making his way over to third. So even with 1 out, 90 feet for Voit to cross home plate. And standing sideline is our sideline reporter, Derek Mitchell. Derek? We'll see Derek in just a few moments. First
The
pitch
star-studded
coming through,
infielder,
strike
Mack
for
Timbrook, has been
Farazi.
leading the way.
So strike gets ahead of the count, and that brings up Colin Priest, sitting at the 4 spot this afternoon. So the 0-1 pitch. This one swung on and fouled back and behind the press box. So immediately Farazi gets ahead of the count. And that is what you have to do, Brad, against these Michigan batters, is you have to be able to get ahead of the count. We saw it on Friday with Joseph Jerwa. And immediately the infield is in for the Spartans. So the 0-2. This one coming through inside, and Priest takes a look at a strike, and Farazi takes a look at his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Yeah, that's painting the corners if I've ever saw it. I don't even think that he thought it was in there, but might have gotten away with it. Either way, 1 strikeout, and that's Michigan State is now at 2 outs.
Yeah, and that's big because you still have Voit sitting there on third. So now you don't have to worry about a sac fly RBI coming through. So 2 outs for Caruso. He takes a swing at a first pitch strike. Cole Caruso batting .244 on the year, the third baseman for the Wolverines. He's played so well in the infield this series. That pitch came high, so ball coming through for Farazi. Count at 1 apiece. The 1-1 offering. This one coming through low, so Caruso gets ahead of the count at 2-1. So 2-1 pitch. This one swung on and driven out of play. So Farazi evens the count at 2-2 with that foul ball, and now he has a ball to give and an opportunity to make Caruso chase at something.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for MSU to get out of the inning with just much less damage than they might have had given the errors at the beginning of the inning.
So quick conversation between Thompson and the Michigan State dugout. So 2-2 pitch. Hung on the outside, and now the count's full. So the full count pitch. This one, same spot, hung on that outside corner. And now the Wolverines have runners on first and third as Farazi gives up another walk. And standing sideline, we'll bring in our sideline reporter, Derek Mitchell. Derek, take it away.
The star-studded infielder, Mack Timbrook, has been leading the way for the Wolverines all season long. Mack leads the team in batting average with 335, and he also leads the team in stolen bases with 8. Mack has had a fantastic April, where he's led the team as well with a 500 batting average and also got a 557 on-base stealing percentage as well. That's it here from McLean Stadium. I'm Derek Mitchell, and this has been Big Ten Baseball on Big Ten Plus.
And thank you very much, Derek. Stanton up to bat for the Wolverines, and he comes into an interesting situation. Any base hit for him, if he just gets it out to the outfield, he's thinking an RBI adding to that 15 count.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge, very, very important moment to get ahead early.
The 1-0 hung outside. Farazi has lost a couple pitches on that same outside corner. He's trying to go to that opposite side of the batter, but he's just hung him out and wide. So Stanton gets ahead of the count quickly at 2-0. Seymour and McKay both hung out a little wide on the infield.
Just struggling to find the zone, it looks like, for Farazi. He's gonna, he's gonna have to attack the hitter.
Yeah, expect something to get back into the zone. He needs a strike here. And it's that same outside pitch, and that one gets away for a moment from Thompson. But a good job by Thompson to not let that go behind him, just keep it laterally, and no Michigan runners advance. But now the bases are loaded as that walk comes through. So bases loaded situation for Farazi, 2 outs on the afternoon, and that brings up Will Rogers.
Yeah.
So the first pitch coming through, and Rogers takes a look at a first pitch strike.
Yeah, pretty good timing for the mound visit for Thompson to try to relax Farazi, let him know that, you know, he's still got this. It's in the cards.
Absolutely, and Farazi immediately goes to that first pitch fastball. The 0-1. This one swung on and fouled back, so now Farazi gets ahead quickly at 0-2, and that's the exact spot you want to be on when you have bases loaded and a talented batter in Will Rogers.
Yeah, just up to Farazi at this point to finish him off. Come with one of those put-him-away pitches.
Absolutely, and another star player on deck for the Wolverines, and Mack Timbrook. The 0-2. This one hung out high. Farazi trying to get him to chase that high fastball.
Could also set him up for a slider away here. That would be a great pitch right now.
So the 1-2 offering. This one swung on, and Farazi gets another strikeout and gets away from the bases loaded situation. That one had some juice on it, but not before the Wolverines strike first blood. Michigan leads 1-0 early in the first inning here on Big Ten Plus. At that pitcher position, the ace for Michigan. He was supposed to pitch on Friday, but then unfortunately for the Wolverines, he struggled with that illness and was unable to pitch.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm thinking that Michigan, pardon me, I'm thinking that Michigan's happy to have him back and look to get a game out of the series.
Absolutely. The 1-0 after the first ball. This one swung on and sent over to right, chasing after it deep. No one's gonna get there. It's an opening leadoff home run for Jack Frank, and the Spartans immediately tie it at 1 apiece. How about some fireworks in the bottom of the first?
Yeah, that's an ambush if I've ever seen one. way over the wall. Beautiful swing. Just Barr's trying to get settled in this game. Just beautiful swing by Jack Frank.
The second pitch for Barr ends up as a solo home run for Jack Frank. And now Dylan Kark steps into the box. And the Wolverine infield has 3 men over on that second and third base line. Kark batting .322 on the year. The 1-1 offering. That changeup trying to drop inside, but it hung out inside to Kark.
Yeah, it looks like the key for MSU is going to be getting to Barr early, not letting him get comfortable.
The 2-1. This one swung on and fouled back by Kark, so Barr gets quickly back even to the count at 2-2. Again, that infield for the Wolverines still having 3 infielders over on that left side. The 2-2. This one swung on and fouled into the plate. So you see quickly Kirk Barr, 16-6 on the year. This one swung on as well, but trying to chase under it is Kim. That one will drop between Kim and Dernetti. So it's going to be a single coming through for Kark. And with no outs, the Spartans are able to get Kark over on first.
Yeah, it looks like we might be geared up for another repeat of yesterday's game. Hitters are coming alive early, and that is just a little bloop single out to center.
So Nick Williams played heroics on Friday. He's had a good weekend so far. He takes a look at a first pitch strike. Good first pitch by Barr, being able to get ahead of the count. That's what you need to be able to do, is get ahead of those counts quickly. Allows you to put pressure on these batters.
Yeah, and for the hitter on the same side, getting ahead early for them is, the batting average percentages go way up, the more you're ahead in the count. So that is very important for Barr to get ahead, so that's not happening.
The 1-1 offering. This one hung out on that outside, opposite batter box side, so 2-1 count now for Nick Williams. Kark, not many stolen bases attempts on the year, only 2, but he succeeded at both. So the 2-1, this one chop swung, and it's going to be looked at as a strike. Another good changeup coming through for Kurt Barr. So the 2-2 to Williams. They're going to go to first, see if Kark moves, and quickly Rogers rifled it over to first, but a good job by Kark to get back to the bag.
Yeah, Rogers does like pick throwing. He's done that quite a few times in this series already, and he's almost got him a couple times.
So now full count for Williams. The 3-2, this one chopped over to Dernetti, trying to go for the double play opportunity, and the Wolverines will. So one of the best teams in the Big Ten with converting double plays. They continue that trend once again, and a good job by the Wolverine infield between Dernetti, Timbrook, and Voit to make that double play possible.
Yeah, Michigan turns the most double plays in the NCAA, and so you are just looking at a well-oiled machine when it comes to those. That's how they've been able to stunt teams on offense.
So Greg Ziegler now into the box for the Spartans. Ziegler takes a look at a first pitch ball. So the 1-0 pitch. This one hung on the inside. It's going to be 2 straight balls for Barr. So the 2-0. This one swung on. They'll go to the first base umpire, and Stuart Hall says that one was a strike. So Ziegler back across the plate, allows Barr to go up 2-1. And now Barr evens it at 2 apiece. So 2 straight strikes coming through for Barr. 2 outs, nobody on base for the Spartans. The 2-2. This one swung on and caught the top of the bat and right into the net. Barr trying to go to that changeup. The 2-2. This one swung on and a beautiful grab over on third for Caruso. That one like a magnet into the glove for the third baseman. Pitching now for the Spartans against Timbrook. So Timbrook batting .338 on the season. And Farazi 2 early strikeouts. Looking to add to that total. Gets ahead of the count with the first pitch strike. The 0-1. Hung on that outside. So the count gets even at 1 apiece. Timbrook, the second baseman, 23 RBIs on the season. This one swung on and chopped over to Kark. Kark handles this one and makes the easy relay over to Sam Bush.
Yeah, Farazi's starting to settle in, so we're starting to see that, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Farazi starting to get into his groove a little bit, starting to throw a few more pitches that are called strike, but he's still struggling with hanging those on the outside corners. But as the game goes on, he'll start to see those pitches that he likes. But a good job by Kark to handle that one, especially after his previous one, an error in the top of the first. This one called strike for Farazi. So again, he gets back into the count. That's 4 batters now where he's immediately gotten ahead of the count at 0-1.
And he's starting to get some of those calls on the outside too. So it's just a matter of picking his spot.
The 0-1, that one hung outside. So Gernetti gets even at the count with 1 apiece. Jonathan Kim immediately waiting his second at bat of the day. This one swung on and popped over to third. Kark tracking it. And that's going to be 2 outs coming at the hands of Dylan Kark for Michigan State.
Yeah, one's through the lineup already for Michigan. Kim coming up, he walked his last time, scored Michigan's only run.
Yeah, and that one again was due to a grounder that got stuck at the bottom of the glove from Kark, was unable to fully handle it, and then had the overthrow over to first on Sam Bush, and Kim was able to use the wheels to cross home plate. So the first pitch coming through, this one lined, and a good slide from the shortstop position for Seymour, but he was unable to handle that. So it's going to go through as a single for Kim. So really good job by Kim to find the gap, and he'll actually take second. So Kim able to get on base once again and immediately get into scoring position. A good slide from Seymour to keep that one in front.
Yeah, that was a good effort, but he would have been safe anyway. It was just a matter of the scoop.
Yeah, so the throwing error allowed Kim to get over to second. That throwing error coming through, ball going into the Michigan dugout. So the 1-0 to Voit. Beautiful pitch coming through. It's called strike, and a good job of framing that one for Sam Thompson. Farazi takes a look over to Kim. The 1-1. That one called ball. So the 2-1 pitch. This one swung on and flied over to right. Trying to chase after it is Bush, looking to track it. And that one just out of the arms of Sam Bush.
Yeah, it gets pretty dangerous over there. I'm telling you, when you're chasing down one of those balls, the wall kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and that one was creeping on Bush quickly. He was trying to track it, but that one had a lot of airtime on it.
Just ran out by a couple feet too. He thought he almost had it.
Yeah, he knew that that one was in an arm's reach. The 2-2 pitch to Voit. This one swung on and driven over to center field. Chasing after it is going to be Frank. Frank came over from right field to make that grab. So 3 outs for the Wolverines come at the hands of Kark and Frank. And Michigan State able to make work of the Wolverines despite runner on scoring position. We'll be right back. Michigan State on the bats in just a few moments.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
The 1-1. This one swung on, trying to find a gap over and right, and it will. So Sam Thompson gets a single as that one dropped perfectly right in front of Stanton. Stanton trying to chase after it, but that one just able to drop in.
Yeah, he stuck through that pretty well. That was a nice, solid swing. Got the pitch he was looking for and just drove it right into right field.
So now Sam Bush, the first baseman, stepping into the box for the Spartans. First pitch coming through. This one swung on deep over to right. That one's not going to stay in. That was hammered off the bat, and that's a 2-run home run for Sam Bush. Oh my goodness, that one was demolished off the bat.
Yeah, Jack, he knew exactly what pitch he was looking for, and he stuck with it. He knew it right off the bat. He knew it was going.
And Sam Bush able to get his 7th home run of the year. He bats in that 8 spot, but trust me, Brad, he can see those pitches when he wants, and those balls will be hammered if he gets it center bat. That now brings up Randy Seymour, the Michigan State shortstop, into the box. He takes a look at a first pitch strike and swung that foul over to right. So the 0-1 to Seymour. Check swing coming through. Good eye from Seymour, and the count gets evened at 1 apiece. Seymour batting .250 on the year. The 1-1 pitch. This one swung on and once again fouled. The 1-2. This one once again fouled over to the Wolverine dugout. So Kurt Barr now giving up 2 home runs in these first 2 innings. But besides those 2 pitches, he's thrown a good game, not allowed many hits for Michigan State. Spartans have 4, but Barr still trying to manage over at the bump. The 2-2 offering. Chopped and fouled once again. And we saw Jack Frank in his first at-bat see a second pitch solo home run. He's waiting his opportunity to get back into the box. The 2-2. Hung on the inside and now full count. So the 3-2. Outside once again, and Seymour is going to be able to take first. We'll see if that brings a meeting to the mound or not for Barr. But Seymour able to use the eyes to take first on the walk, and now Jack Frank gets his second at-bat of the afternoon.
Yeah, Barr's already at 43 pitches in 2 innings. So not necessarily the most efficient route, but that's not uncommon for college baseball.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that Wolverine bullpen as it goes on, but Jack Frank now stepping up into the box, and we mentioned 1-for-1, the solo home run in his first at-bat. Takes a look at a first pitch coming through ball. You have to be careful over there on first if you're Barr, because Randy Seymour can move if he wants to. 11 attempts to steal on the season. He's succeeded 9 times. This one coming through inside once again, so Frank takes a look at 2 straight balls. So the 2-0 offering coming through outside once again. So 3 straight balls for Barr. And Frank hasn't had to take a swing at any.
Frank definitely has that intimidation factor at the plate.
The 3-0. Right down the center with the 4-seam, and that one's going to be called strike.
Might see another action pitch here with a 3-1 count.
So the 3-1. And trying to frame it on the outside was the catcher Rogers, but Frank didn't like it, and that one will be called ball. So 2 straight walks for Barr.
Yeah, for Michigan State right now, you're probably going to want to tell Kark to be patient, look for your pitch, and not get too overly anxious with Barr struggling as much as he is right now.
Seymour 90 feet from third. We'll see what the Spartans go with. First pitch coming through, and that one will be hung out, so first pitch ball. And again, we'll see what strategy Michigan State will go with. They like to be able to attack the bases and run aggressively. They could go with a double steal, but Kark gets ahead of the count at 1-0. This one swung on, and good pitch by Barr to get back into the count at 1-1. And arguably your 2 fastest base runners right now for Michigan State. On first and second. Frank on first, Seymour on second. And you have to be careful if you're Rogers. You don't want to have any balls go behind you. The 2-1. This one swung on and chopped over to Caruso, so he'll just take the force out at third. And Michigan's able to get out of the inning, but not before a 2-run home run comes through from Sam Bush. So Michigan State leads 3-1. Rustich, big swing, and Ferrazzi comes back with a strike.
Yeah, if there's anybody that you want to get a spark to your team, it's Rustich right now.
Absolutely, Brad. The 1-1 offering coming through. This one swung on, and Kark bobbles it for a second, trying to get the throw across, and it's good. So first out of the frame coming through at the hands of Dylan Kark. Kark has seen some action, and it's been a roller coaster of an afternoon early for Dylan Kark.
Yeah, he made that play look easy. Even after bobbling it, he still stuck with the play, knew how much time he had, and delivered a rocket over to first. Clean and accurate throw.
So 1 up, 1 down, coming at the hands of Kark. This one swung on over to center field. Trying to get under it is Ziegler, and Ziegler will make the routine fly. So 2 up now, 2 down. And Michigan State trying to make quick work of the frame. That was Colin Priest with the quick at bat. So now the third baseman, Caruso, steps into the box for the Wolverines. First pitch coming through. This one swung on, going over to McKay. McKay trying to go 1, 2, 3, and the Spartans will. So 3 up and 3 down. Michigan State makes quick work of the frame.
Yeah, that was just another beautiful defensive play. MSU sticking with it and firing it 1, 2, 3 inning.
Thank you, Derek, and we are back here in East Lansing. As up to bat now for the Wolverines is Nick Williams. Nick Williams 0 for 1 on the contest. Takes a look at a first pitch ball. Second pitch coming through, gets behind Rogers. That one goes into the pad.
Yeah, a little bit of a different situation this time for Williams. He grounded out the first time up into a double play. But this time, a little bit different situation.
Grounds this one over. It gets over to Zernetti, and Zernetti makes an amazing play over at short. That one was chopping between both Caruso and Zernetti, but Zernetti was able to get a glove on it, and he made that throw just nearly from the outfield.
Yeah, he kind of made that look easy because that was, I mean, he was kind of on his back foot, and he got him by just half a step.
Really good play coming through from the Michigan shortstop, and he's been doing that all series. And look at that. You have to love the energy from Voit over at first. So that brings up Greg Ziegler now, the center fielder for Michigan State. Takes a look at a first pitch ball. Showing bunt here, lays it down, trying to get onto his horse over to first, and he will. So lays down the bunt and makes his way over to first for the single.
Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. I mean, that was good on bar to get out of the way of Rogers so that he could throw a missile down to first, but that Ziegler's just quick.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and now sitting over on first, he can also like to run the bases. 10 attempts on the year and 9 successful stolen bases. Ryan McKay, now the freshman in the box. Here comes the steal coming through for Ziegler, trying to make it there, and he will. So that 90% steal ratio staying true, and he gets his way over 90 feet to second base.
Yeah, his reaction time was the key here. Rogers did have a pretty good throw, just hopped in on one bounce. But still, that was just all speed and reaction.
So with 1 out now, Ziegler in scoring position. Ryan McKay had a great day yesterday. One of the Spartans with multiple hits in the afternoon. Takes a look at a 2-0 count here. Barr takes a look over at Ziegler on second. The 2-0 coming through as a strike, so a good pitch for Barr. And he gets back into the count. Ziegler still with the lead off over on second. Here comes the 2-1. This one swung on, trying to find a gap over and right. It will. They're going to send Ziegler. He's going to come home. There won't be a throw, and it will be an RBI single for Ryan McKay, and the Spartans lead by 3.
And so the stolen base pays off for Michigan State. Just a great call and a great clutch at bat for McKay. Just drives it in, knew exactly what he needed to do, didn't try to do too much, and Michigan State gets another run.
And Ryan McKay now with his 47th hit of the season, and that one coming at a pretty good time, along with his 26th RBI as well. He also has a heavy leadoff over at first. Christian Williams, the designated hitter, takes a look at a first pitch ball. And Williams batting .338 with runners on. See if that number holds true. The 1-0 offering. This one swung on. They're going to say it foul, so takes a hop over at that third base line and goes foul. Another look at McKay over at first. The 1-1 pitch. This one coming through low. Good job by Rogers to keep that in front. Michigan State already has 3 errors on the afternoon, and they also have that 3-run lead.
Yeah, their fielding definitely hasn't been perfect this series, but they've managed to win every game. So kudos to them, I suppose. They must be doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've seen it back and forth between these two teams this series. You know, yesterday the Wolverines struggled heavy on fielding, especially at that catcher position. That's why Rogers came in. That pitch just nearing the top shelf, and it'll be called ball, so an immediate full count for Williams.
Yeah, look for an action pitch here. 3-2 count, only 1 out. So that runner will probably be running right on contact.
The 3-2. This one low. It'll be another walk for Barr, and Williams will take first. So Williams on first and McKay on second, as that now brings up the catcher, Sam Thompson. Sam Thompson was able to get on base at his last at-bat before Bush had that 2-run home run. First pitch swinging, and that one goes foul back behind Rogers. So the 0-1. This one swung on, trying to find a gap. Good job by Dernetti to touch second, and then go to the double play opportunity, and it's dropped over at first base from Voit. That pitch coming in really, or that throw, excuse me, coming in low for Voit. But nonetheless, he was trying to make that pick, and that one just took a bad first hop into right in that palm of the glove.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling for a first baseman, just unable to get the scoop. But a rare miscue by Michigan. Usually they do convert, as we've mentioned, they do convert those double play opportunities.
So Williams tagged out at second, McKay over on third. And Sam Thompson is able to make his way to first after that fielder's choice single. And now that brings up Sam Bush. Again, we talked about it. Bush had the 2-run home run in his last at-bat. The 1-0. This one swung on, able to find the glove of Dernetti. So Dernetti gets the hand at 2 outs for the Wolverines. And again, Spartan runners left on base, but not before Michigan State scores another run. The Spartans lead 4-1 here in East Lansing.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Timbrook. First pitch swung on, and this one's headed over to right. This one's going back, and it's gone. It's a 3-run home run for Mack Timbrook, and the hot streak continues. And all of a sudden, we are even at 4 apiece here on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm telling you about Timbrook. He is hot right now. There's nothing that can stop him.
That one, again, just sailing over to third off of the crack of the bat. And that one on that right field line, Frank just had to watch it go over. So first pitch strike after the home run coming through. This one swung on and fouled back. So Farazi able to get ahead of the count quickly at 0-2 now. Michigan shortstop Dernetti into the box. We've seen him make so many plays over on the infield. The 0-2. This one high and behind the glove of Thompson. And he got no runners on base, so nobody able to advance off that wild pitch. So the 1-2. This one chop swing, and they're going to call it a strike. So that'll be a strikeout for Farazi, and Dernetti gets caught in that half swing. So it'll be the first out for Michigan State, coming through with a strikeout at the hands of Farazi.
Still really good rebound from Farazi. Didn't let it get to him too much. Still in a 4-4 game.
Now the Wolverines back at the top of the order with Jonathan Kim. Kim takes a look at a first pitch strike, or excuse me, first pitch ball going wide. So Kim gets ahead of the count now at 1-0. Second pitch coming through. This one swung on and headed over to right once again. Frank is back. Frank cannot grab it. That one's out of there in the red cedar. And Jonathan Kim able to get his 5th home run of the season. It's a solo shot. And just like that, in an inning of action, the Michigan Wolverines have the lead for the first time this afternoon.
Man, these lefties are having a day at the plate today. That is Timbrook, Kim, Frank for MSU, and Bush, all left-handed batters, all taking it deep to right field.
That one was hammered and gone in the Red Cedar River. Farazi comes back with a first pitch strike headed over to Mitch Voit, first baseman for the Wolverines. So the 0-1. Coming through is another strike, so a good job by Farazi to get quickly ahead of the count at 0-2. So 0-2 pitch. This one swung on and trying to find the gap. It will over in center field, so it'll be a single for Mitch Voit, and that will be his 54th hit of the season. And he's able to make his way over to first, and you have to wonder now for the Michigan State bullpen, who is going to take the bump here and how long do you keep Farazi in? course, that will be the question. And the Spartan infield trying to see where their pitcher is at. 66 pitches already in 4 innings of play. Garrett Brewer in the bullpen getting loose, the lefty for the Spartans.
Yeah, this mound visit might just be to buy Brewer some time because it is looking like Farazi might be near the end of his rope.
Yeah, you have to think, just try to get him to finish out the inning. But this is a dangerous batter here in Steven Rustich. Rustich has Voit over on first. That outside pitch coming low, so ball from Farazi to Rustich. Voit over on first. Heavy leadoff for Voit. The 1-0 comes through low once again, so now Farazi gets down on the count 2-0. Voit can move if he wants to. 3 attempts on the year. He's succeeded 2 times. This one coming in as a strike for Farazi. Able to get one back in the count. The 2-1 offering. This one swung on and fouled over to that third base foul line. Farazi takes a look back over at Voit. The 2-2 offering. This one inside, nearly came across Rustich, but he does like to get ahead of that plate and really crowd that space inside. You can see he'll sometimes even choke up on that bat as well, more of a defensive swing. But he does like to get over home plate. 3-2, they'll check over on Voit, making sure he's awake. Rustich still looking for his first hit of the afternoon. The full count. That one outside, and Rustich is able to take base. So now with 1 out, Voit will make his way over to second, and Rustich is able to find first. Seen so many home runs the past 2 days. And now Colin Priest into the box. First pitch out of the bullpen for Brewer comes through as a ball. So the 1-0. This one coming through as a strike right on that outside corner. Good breaking ball for Brewer. So now the 1-1. This one thought about it from Priest, but he pulls away. And a good decision too as well, because that one comes through as a ball, so 2-1.
And this is important for Brewer because he is a freshman. Michigan State is probably still evaluating how they want to use him. So if he can prove himself.
Absolutely. This one will be popped up. Chasing under it is the first baseman, Bush. And now the Spartans take a look at a 2-out situation as Rustich sits over on first and Voit is on second. So now the Michigan third baseman, Caruso, steps in to the batting box. Here's the pitch. That one hung outside, so first pitch ball coming through from Brewer. So the 1-0. This one swung on and fouled back into the glove of Thompson. So Brewer's able to get back even with the count. So again, runners on first and second. Voit, heavy leadoff over on second. The 1-1. This one fouled back into the net, and Brewer gets ahead of the count at 1-2. Brewer takes a look back over at Voit. The 1-2, that one hung outside.
Yeah, Brewer just struggling to put him away. Took care of the lefty easily in his first batter. The second one is getting a little bit more difficult.
So the 2-2 coming through is the strike, and right on cue, Brad. He takes care of that one and gets his first strikeout of the afternoon. And runners left on base for the Wolverines. When we return, Michigan State trying to answer on the bats here on Big Ten Plus.
It's not an easy feat for them.
Definitely is not. Michigan State as well will have a couple more games left in their belt. Randy Seymour now, the shortstop, batting for Michigan State. Immediately gets ahead of the count at 2-0. We saw him already take base off of a walk. So the 2-0 pitch coming through is a strike. Good pitch by Barr. The 2-1. This one hung out wide once again. Now Barr faces a 3-1 count. So the 3-1. This one swung on. It's going to be popped up over to third, and settling under it is going to be Dernetti. So Dernetti from that shortstop position will take the pop fly into the glove, and one up, one down for the Michigan Wolverines.
I bet Seymour wants that one back. That wasn't a terrible pitch to swing at, but he just got a little bit under it. Popped it straight up in the air, towering pop-up.
Yeah, that one was routine for the Michigan shortstop, and now that brings up the top of the order for Michigan State and Jack Frank. First pitch swinging for Frank, and that one will be dribbled foul on that first base line. Saw Frank with the home run in his first at-bat, took the walk, and now he takes a look at a 1-1 count. So the 1-1 pitch. This one coming through low, so another ball, and Frank is ahead at 2-1. So the 2-1 pitch. This one swung on and driven over to left, trying to settle under it is Rustich, and Rustich can't get it, losing his footing. Frank's gonna round second, and he's gonna backpedal back, and he's gonna stay there. So Frank able to get the double, and Rustich just lost his footing over there in left field.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they score that one, but Michigan State catching a little bit of a break
81 pitches. First pitch coming through for Kark. It's going to be a strike. Frank over at second, the solo base runner. That one hung on the outside, called ball. Again, we've talked about how speedy Frank is over on the bases. Cat and mouse game between him and Barr. Kark takes a big swing and a miss at a strike coming through from Barr. Barr able to get that one across the plate.
Yeah, you do not have to worry about Frank making many errors on the bases. He is probably going to go on contact.
1-2, this one's chopped over to Caruso. Caruso takes a couple steps, makes this throw over to Voit. And Kark is retired for the bottom of the fourth. Brings in now 2 outs for Michigan State. And Barr just trying to finish the inning. We see that check back over on Frank and then the swing coming through from Kark. And a good job by Caruso, able to get that one over to his first baseman. Nick Williams now into the box for Michigan State. First pitch coming through is a strike. So good job by Barr to get ahead of the count early. In a series that Nick Williams has played so well in, he's struggling today, 2 ground outs, still making contact, but just unable to find a seam. That pitch coming through low. Good job by Rogers to keep that one in front of him. That's a difference maker play right there, because if he gets that one behind him, you know Frank is definitely running third, and depending where that ball goes back into the wall, Frank could be coming home.
Yeah, I can't tell you what it feels like to have a dependable catcher behind home plate.
That pitch coming through ball as well. So now 2-1 is the count between Barr and Williams. Williams batting .389 with runners in scoring position. The 2-1. This one chopped down into home plate. So now 2-2 count. Barr has a ball to give. And you see that one just catching it low at the bottom of the bat. And we get a great look of Greg Ziegler, 1 for 2 on the day, center fielder for the Spartans. The 2-2 pitch just kept outside, so now full count opportunity for Barr, and he's at 90 pitches on the afternoon. So the 3-2. And that one's inside, so Williams, good eye, he'll take the base over to first. And now Greg Ziegler has an opportunity to add to his RBI count. He has Frank over on second and Williams over on first. That didn't allow many runs for either side.
Yes, he always gives his team a chance to win.
And this one sent over to left. Chasing over is Rustich. 1 run will score. Here comes another, trying to make it there, and it will. Ziegler able to score 2 runs for Michigan State, and the Spartans immediately get the lead back. And that one sent on a rope over to left field, and Rustich has seen a few come his way. You see the look back from Frank trying to see if that play was going to get made by Rustich. So now with 2 outs, Ryan McKay stepping into the box, and Greg Ziegler able to get his 5th double of the year. First pitch coming through, strike for Denner. The 0-1 swung on by McKay. Denner immediately gets ahead of the count at 0-2. McKay had the single in the 3rd. Ziegler 90 feet away from 3rd. McKay swinging at that one, foul tipped it into the back net. That one a little late on the swing and high as well, going off the tip of the bat.
Michigan State's strategy seems to be working. Just try to get to these pitchers before they start getting in a groove.
The 0-2. This one swung on and finding the gap, trying to send Ziegler home. The relay coming in, too late. Ziegler scores, and Michigan State leads by 2. Ryan McKay continues to send runners home, and that's exactly what the young freshman does best.
Yeah, look at him just stay really level through the zone, shoot the ball right up the middle, and that was just enough to get the speedy Ziegler home across the plate.
So Ryan McKay now able to add to that RBI count total, 27 now on the year. First pitch coming through is a strike for Christian Williams, the designated hitter for the Spartans. McKay over on first. Michigan State able to make runs happen even with 2 outs. The 0-1, this one, big cut from Williams, finds all air, and Denner gets ahead at 0-2. So the 0-2 pitch hung just a bit outside, and Williams is able to get a ball back. McKay, heavy leadoff over at first base. The 1-2, big swing and a miss. Jacob Denner gets his first strikeout of the afternoon, but not before Michigan State scores 3 and gets the lead back at the bottom of the 4th. When we return, we'll have the top of the 5th coming your way. Don't go anywhere. Michigan State, Michigan, coming in close.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
So 2-2 pitch. Coming through just a bit high, so now the count's full. Take a look at Dernetti awaiting his opportunity to get into the box. This one swung on and headed over to right. Going back and just off the wall. Run, trying to score. Hot on the tail is going to be Rogers. Rogers sliding in. Play at the plate is made. A beautiful throw coming in, but not before one Wolverine scores. So Stanton able to cross at the plate, but Rogers will be tagged out by Thompson. What a play at the plate, but an even better swing of the bat coming through from Timbrook, and he's able to get the RBI double.
Yeah, Michigan does score 1. They do plate 1. But that was just a fantastic throw and tag by Michigan State.
Absolutely, and now we get a meeting at the circle. First pitch coming through high and a ball. So Peaker walks into a situation with Timbrook over on second. Timbrook was able to get the RBI double and make his way over to second base. The 1-0. That one able to find the zone, so count at 1 apiece. Dernetti has not made base yet today. So here's the 1-1. That one coming through as a ball.
Peaker has been reliable for Michigan State through 20 innings so far this season. Only given up 2 home runs, though.
Here's the 2-1. That one finding the edge inside the zone. So the 2-2 pitch. This one strung on and missed. And Peaker gets his first strikeout of the afternoon, and Michigan State is able to get up to 2 outs. But Timbrook still resides over on second base.
Yeah, Dernetti's second strikeout of the game. It's not going his way so far.
So now the Wolverines back at the top of the lineup, and Peaker delivers a strike. So Jonathan Kim able to have that solo home run and then the walk as well. Here's the 0-1. This one swung on and missed. So Peaker able to immediately get ahead of the count at 0-2. The 0-2 offering. Served! Oh, just tipped off the foul from Kim. Kim says not so fast, staying alive. That one just tipping off of the bat. Peaker was making his way. Check this one out, just off of the bat and out of the glove.
Just barely grazed it.
There it is. Peaker wanted it. He got it. 2 strikeouts back to back. And he gets Michigan State out of a inning with runners in scoring position for the Wolverines, but not after an RBI double from Mack Timbrook that makes this game a 1-run game. Don't go anywhere. Just like it has the past 2 games, it's coming down to the wire.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
This one swung on and missed for Kark. So counts even at 1 apiece. So here's the 1-1. This one finding that zone once again. Another good pitch for Denner. So the 1-2, they'll check over back on Frank. He'll stay over there at first. So they look right back to Frank yet again. Just a little cat and mouse game between Denner and Frank.
Yeah, good idea for Denner to keep him close. We know that Frank can do it all.
1-2 delivery, swung on and sent over to the Michigan State dugout. That ball just reaching the Michigan State dugout, and Frank was already over at second. So he is just awaiting an opportunity. Got the hot foot over there on first. They'll look back to it. Voit thought he had him, but they're going to say that Frank was safe. So
yeah, that was very close.
get a quick look. And ooh,
he was.
Yeah. Nonetheless, Denner throws next pitch ball, so it counts even at 2 apiece. So they'll check back on Frank once again, just going back towards him. Looking back to him once again, still safe. So the 2-2 delivery. Still will have to wait. They look back to Frank once again. And
now the crowd is getting a little bit agitated.
yeah, they're just waiting to see this 2-2 pitch. They go right back to him, Denner does. He's almost just playing with the crowd at this point. I mean, we know what this rivalry brings. And
yeah.
One more time, how about it?
This is kind of getting a little ridiculous at this point. Sometimes you kind of wish that you had MLB's throw over twice rule, although maybe that's a little too extreme.
Here's the 2-2, and that one's outside and behind Rogers, so Frank will just trot over to second. So after all of that, the wild pitch comes through, and look at Jack Frank, he's fired up over there on second base. I mean, that's the easiest 90 feet he's ever had to travel.
Yeah, 100%. You got 2 outs, it's a 3-2 count. Denner's better off just pitching to Kark.
So a big swing and a miss. So after all that, Denner gets the last laugh. He says, you can travel the next base all you want. I'm going to get this strikeout right here. So Denner ends the inning at the 5th. Michigan State leads 8-6. We'll be right back with the 6th inning of an action when we return right here on Big Ten Plus.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
First pitch coming through high for Peaker. So Timbrook sees the first pitch ball, and he's had a real solid day. Mack Timbrook has, Brad, home run and that double as well.
Yeah, Timbrook just in general has been on fire. In April, his batting average was .500 exactly. So talk about a hot hitter.
Absolutely, and that's transitioning into May as well. The 2-0, this one popped up. Trying to settle under it is Kark, tracking and making the grab. So 1 up, 1 down for the Spartans. And Peaker is able to have that assist come through from Kark.
Yeah, that's a crucial first out for Michigan State. And Kark just took care of business, just right into his glove. And Michigan State now has 1 out, looking to shut Michigan down this inning.
Dernetti steps into the box, takes a look at a first pitch ball low. So here's the 1-0. This one not swung on and called strike. Right down the middle for Peaker. Here's the 1-1. Once again, looked at right down the heart, and that's a good change-up pitch coming through from Peaker.
Just 2 straight pitches that looks like Dernetti wasn't really looking for, because those were really hittable.
The 0-2 swung on and missed. Dernetti strikes out for the third time this afternoon, and Peaker continues to add on pressure to these Michigan Wolverine batters.
Yeah, he was way out in front of that one. That ball dropped so late. Really hard. Looked like a fastball almost until about a couple feet to the plate.
So Peaker gets his third strikeout of the afternoon. Now the Spartans see a 2-out situation. 2 batters up, 2 batters down, just like the Wolverines did in the previous half inning. Spartans are trying to go 1-2-3. First pitch, strike. Second pitch coming through, and that one's going to be low, so 1-1. So the 1-1 pitch coming through. This one not swung on and called strike.
That's brilliant location for Peaker. I believe that was a changeup, 79 miles an hour. That changeup's working well for him.
So the 1-2. Peaker's trying to go 1-2-3. Here it is. This one swung on and dropping. That one will find the ground before it hits Frank's glove. And Kim will add a single to his resume this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, not quite a 1-2-3 inning. But if Peaker can take care of business, MSU will be in good shape. Michigan scored a run every inning since the 3rd. So this would be the 4th consecutive inning if they're able to tack something on.
Mitch Voit now into the box for the Wolverines. A heavy leadoff over on first. They'll check over on Kim.
That is a quick move Peaker has.
Yeah, he goes directly over to his first baseman, Bush. So Voigt still awaiting his first pitch. They'll check back over on first once again. So Kim, heavy leadoff over there on first. Peaker eyes him, sets up to address Voigt. They'll go right back to first yet again. And
it's interesting how much attention he's paying to him, considering that Kim has no stolen bases on the year.
Yeah, Kim has yet to try to steal this season, but he's still very speedy as well. Still has that heavy leadoff, and now we'll get a time here as that's going to be Andrew Stone, the assistant, excuse me, not Andrew Stone, that's going to be pitching coach coming out for Michigan State to talk things over with Peaker. First pitch for Szczepanski, and that one will go just into the dirt, and it'll be an easy steal opportunity for Jonathan Kim. So Kim, you know, before Szczepanski took the mound, it was Peaker and Kim going back and forth over on first, and Kim is finally able to travel that 90 feet.
That's his first steal of the season.
So 2 straight balls now for Szczepanski. Takes a look back at Kim, the 2-0. That one coming through is a strike. So that 2-seam finding the zone. So the 2-1. This one swung on and missed from Voigt. Szczepanski, after those first 2 balls, immediately gets back into the count at 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Over the plate, but just a bit high. Full count now. between Voit and Szczepanski. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed. Szczepanski comes in and finishes the top of the 7th with a big strikeout, leaving runners on for the Wolverines. Michigan State able to stay in front.
Yeah, and that is beautiful for Szczepanski, trying to get Michigan State out of the inning and finally hold Michigan to a scoreless frame.
And we are back in East Lansing. 8-7 is our score. Thank you, Owen, for that report. Yeah, things change, and of course, head coach Jake Bosch Jr., we have not seen him on the field today. We saw him earlier, but haven't seen him as of late. And we've seen a couple trips to the mound from the Spartan dugout, and it's all been assistant coaches and pitching coaches. So, you know, sometimes life happens and you have to take care of life first. But nonetheless, we're here. Jacob Denner and Christian Williams up to bat. Jacob Denner pitching for Michigan. Williams now taking a look at 2 strikes, both off foul balls, so he's down in the count at 0-2. The 0-2. Swung on and driven over to center field. This one's just going to pop up and die, and gathered in by Timbrook. So 1 up, 1 down. Christian Williams floated that one over, and Timbrook was there to make the easy grab.
And Denner has really settled into a groove. I'm not sure how long he'll last or how much longer, but he has really settled into a groove, and Michigan State is kind of having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. And we saw this on Friday as well when Denner came in. Friday was, of course, deemed that pitching battle day, as Nick Williams did have the walk-off. And it was 3-2, our final score. Of course, these past 2 days, we've seen both teams score more runs than that whole game combined. So 7-8 is our score today, and 12-8 was our final yesterday. So Denner coming in, trying to stop the Michigan State scoring, and I'm sure he doesn't care how many Michigan runs they score. Here's the 0-1. Check swing coming through from Thompson, and that's a really good eye and good patience from the catcher.
Yeah, and Thompson he showed bunt in the first pitch, just trying to spice up something, get something going, whether that's a bunt for hit or, you know, what it is. Just get him out of rhythm.
Absolutely trying to change things up. Haven't seen many bunt opportunities today. We did see Jack Frank able to take base on a bunt that he laid down earlier. But nonetheless, Denner now down in the count 3-1. We do see action over in the Michigan bullpen, so multiple pitchers warming up. Here's a 3-1. This one swung on, driven over to right, and settling under it once again is Stanton. Stanton able to track that one nicely. He's now, you know, himself and also Jonathan Kim over in center field. I think both these guys now are pretty used to that Patton McLean Stadium mound and hill that runs up to you over on right field, because he used that to his advantage and was able to make the easy grab.
Yeah, there is a lot of room out in right field here at McLean Stadium. And as you can see, it's a beautiful day. It's turned out to be beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous for a baseball game.
So Sam Bush takes a look at a first pitch strike right down the heart. And once again, for the second straight consecutive at-bat, Denner is trying to make the Spartans go 1-2-3. Here's the 0-1. This one chopped at and hit foul, and Bush wants that one back. But he had a 2-run home run in the second, and that's his second home run in 2 days. He had one yesterday as well. Take a look, just mildly windy here today. But here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Denner is dealing here in East Lansing, shutting out the Spartans. He has his third strikeout. And Michigan State, the scoring has gone dry, and Michigan will have a chance to answer here in just a few moments on Big Ten Plus. Absolutely, they're just looking to try to buy any sort of pad and any sort of wins to get themselves into that tournament. First pitch coming through, strike for Shapansky, and he gets his first look at Steven Rustich. Rustich struggling so far today, did have that single in his last at-bat. Second pitch for Shapansky going just a bit wide. Rustich batting in that 3 spot in the lineup. He is also batting .444 when leading off. So the 1-1 comes through, strike. That one curled back nicely into the zone for Shapansky.
Yeah, that was an excellent pitch. I mean, you can't pin it better than that.
So here's the 1-2. Swung on and fouled back into the net. Shapansky likes to go quick. He likes to speed up the tempo when he pitches. He likes to get to what he wants to throw quick and early. Doesn't want to give the batter much time to think. Here's the 1-2. This one swung on and driven over to right. 2 Spartans chasing after it. The closest one is Frank. Frank diving and getting the catch. Jack Frank able to track it down, and he comes all the way from right to make that grab over by the Wolverine bullpen.
Yeah, again, showing off that range in right field. I mean, sometimes it looks like he could play center. He just really travels almost miles to come to these balls.
So good out for the Spartans. First pitch comes through, strike for Colin Priest. He takes a look at it. Priest has struck out once, and he's also taken a base by walk as well. Second pitch comes through, ball, so counts even at 1 apiece. Here's the 1-1. Just inside. Priest dragging that left foot out of the way. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. Good pitch coming through from Shapansky. The 2-2. And looked at, that'll be another strikeout for Shapansky. He's starting to get into his groove. Colin Priest misses that one. He thought that that one was going to be outside the zone. So 2 up, 2 down for the Spartans. And that brings up the third baseman for the Wolverines in Caruso. So Caruso had to fly out over to right field in his last at-bat. Takes a look at a first pitch strike, and Tommy Shapansky is really seeing the zone right now.
Yeah, he has a really good feel for it. I mean, the movement on his balls, somehow they always find it.
Another pitch coming through, strike, and Caruso didn't like that one either. He thought that was outside.
And at this point, you know, you look at, from Caruso's point of view, you're down 0-2 in the count so quick. The at-bat's almost over.
Shapansky really trying to make Caruso chase at that one, going to that breaking ball on the outside. So the 1-2 delivery. This one's going to be chopped foul, so Caruso will head back to the box. Here's the 1-2. This one fouled back and out once again. So the at-bat continues between Caruso and Szczepanski. Szczepanski trying to close out the Wolverines. This one's gonna find the gap between McKay and Bush. It'll be a single for Caruso. McKay was leaning towards the inside of that second base. And there was that big gap between Bush and McKay, and Caruso found it.
Yeah, Caruso did a really nice job of just staying firm and shooting the ball the other way. Beats a shift.
So Dylan Stanton now up to bat for the Wolverines. We get a look at the umpires for today. First pitch, that one was tracking inside, and Stanton had to turn away from it. So here's the 1-0. They look back over to Caruso on first. So the 1-0 pitch, that one right down the plate for Szczepanski. Good pitch to get the count back to 1 apiece. So lights are on now in McLean Stadium. Here's the 1-1. They go back over to first, check on Caruso.
These are the critical innings for Michigan at this point because they have been behind and have gotten so much momentum but really haven't been able to pull through and take the lead in these late innings.
Yeah, and when they did take the lead earlier today, Michigan State got it right back.
Seems like Michigan State's just been a touch ahead all series long.
And Szczepanski now gets a touch ahead in that count as he deals that strike over the plate, so 1-2.
And can you believe the movement on his slider? It is something else.
Yeah, he's really having it going right now. The 1-2 delivery. That one dropping in, and Thompson tried to frame that one. The catcher trying to bring that one back into the zone.
That one looked close. I don't know if that was truly out, but nonetheless, Szczepanski's going to have to gather himself and come back.
They go back over to first to check on Caruso. So Szczepanski getting the signal for the pitch. So the 2-2 delivery. And that one headed low, so now we got a full count between Stanton and Szczepanski.
And the runner's probably going to be in motion here with 3-2 and 2 away. So really looking for action on this one.
The full count. There goes the runner, but it doesn't matter because Szczepanski gets the strikeout to go, and he gets his third strikeout of the afternoon. Tommy Szczepanski coming in and dealing, putting Michigan State up front, not allowing the Wolverines to answer back.
Yeah, it's turned into quite the pitching duel, and it's 8-7 game.
as we are reaching now the bottom of the 8th. Bunt gets laid down by Seymour. He's trying to make his way over to first, but a good job by Denner to come from the mound and pick that one up and fire it over to his first baseman, Voit.
Yeah, that is not an easy play to make. You got to bend down, pick the ball up. It does help that Denner's left-handed, but that is not an easy play. Just really great execution by Michigan.
Absolutely. They were right on top of that one, and one up, one down. So now Jack Frank into the box. He takes a look at a first pitch strike. Jack Frank continuing this hot streak that he's been on the past 2 days, 3 for 3. Takes a look, though, at another strike across the plate, so now he's down 0-2.
And Jack Frank really turning himself into a superstar here at Michigan State. He can do it all. He can run, hit, field.
So the 0-2 comes through low. Denner trying to make Frank chase at something low, and Frank wasn't having any of it. So the 1-2 delivery. This one's going to be hit, but hit foul as that one was tracking over towards the Spartan bullpen. So Denner stays ahead of the count at 1-2. Frank has to be careful. Here it is. Same copy and paste from the last at-bat there. Or the last swing, excuse me. So Frank fouls 2 back-to-back swings off, and the count stays at 1-2.
Yeah, Frank doing a good job of really staying alive in this at-bat, trying to elevate Denner's pitch count.
This one's going to be swung on and driven over to Rustich. Rustich has seen a lot of action today, but he settles under that one, and I'm sure that that's a little relief there from the transfer student.
Yeah, Rustich really a little bit of an easier play to make today, but nonetheless, I'm sure one of his better moments.
So now Dylan Kark stepping into the box for the Spartans. Michigan State trying to avoid going 1-2-3 for the past 3 innings. This one's going to be swung on and fouled back towards the net.
We had quite a bit of runs earlier in the game, and now nothing since Michigan scored in the top of the 6th.
So the 0-1, this one taken high by Kark. Here's the 1-1. This one taken low by Kark, so Kark gets ahead of the count at 2 balls, 1 strike. This one swung on and going to make its way right past Dernetti, and Dylan Kark's able to get on base. Dernetti was closer to that 3rd base more than he was to that 2nd base, and Kark was able to find the seam. You'll see it right here, beautiful down the line action. Dernetti had the dive on it, but it just went right after his glove.
And Denner right now at 64 pitches. So he's really been able to give Michigan's bullpen some life, but you gotta wonder how much longer he can go.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. And he's staying true right now. They just tried to catch Kark over there on first. He wasn't having any of it. Dylan Kark, heavy leadoff once again. You see it there. So the 1-0 to Williams. That one comes outside. So Williams gets ahead of the count at 2-0. Here's the 2-0, that one outside. So 3 straight balls for Denner. So here's the 3-0. Gives him the heater right down the middle, and that four seam finding a strike. So the 3-1. Once again, Williams takes a look at his strike down the middle, so it counts back to full. So the full count. That one trying to be framed, but that one outside. So Williams will take first off of the walk, and that now brings up Greg Ziegler for Michigan State.
Yeah, just a matter of time, it feels like, before Michigan's bullpen starts to get active. People start getting some motion in the bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. Both teams just trying to close this one out, come away victorious. First pitch comes through for Denner as a strike. So Ziegler sees that one come across the plate. Runners on first and second for the Spartans. Kark sitting over on second, Nick Williams on first. That one kept in front nicely by Rogers. Initial pitch wasn't handled. You cannot afford any mental mistakes coming through if you're the Wolverines right now. You know, we saw it yesterday. They struggled with keeping the balls in front over at that catcher position and allowed Michigan State to really kind of build that lead. As here's the 1-1. This one's going to be chopped over to Caruso. Caruso's going to go straight over to first. The stretch, the reach, and what a play over on first from Mitch Voit. A beautiful stretch to retire the inning. And we are headed into a textbook finish here in the 9th. The Wolverines will have one chance to take the lead and try to become victorious and avoid the sweep.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
And Kark are in over on first and third. Here's the 1-1, showing bunt, that one going outside. So now, looks like we'll have a pinch runner. Have a quick meeting. Called time from the Michigan dugout. Tracy Smith talking things over with the runners.
Yeah, at this point, you really just want to make sure that your runners are on the same page, because the last thing that Michigan needs here is going to be an error on the base paths. That's exactly how you leave runs on the table.
Right, and you don't want to either, you know, force yourself into a double play opportunity that the Spartans take advantage of. You have to be able to be smart. So the 2-1 offering on the way from Meshulam in a moment. Here's the pitch. That one down the middle, but called ball. Called a little high. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Dernetti. Here's the pitch. Bunt laid down over to the first base line. Meshulam's trying to chase after it, and nobody's there. So that's going to be a single for Dernetti. That bunt was laid down in a position that would be very difficult to stay on first with, and Dernetti did just that. Meshulam, that's usually his job. It's the pitcher's job to take this, but he just never could get a good grab on it, because if Bush is going to leave first, nobody has that first base covered.
Yeah, that is the pitcher's job to get over there. Just a little bit of a miscue by Michigan State.
So bases loaded for Jonathan Kim. Dangerous situation for Meshulam and the Wolverines. We saw Nick Williams hit the walk-off on Friday. Yesterday also went down to the wire. Gavin Mosadowski is in the bullpen for Michigan State. Meshulam's able to fire back with a strike.
Yeah, really good sequence right there by Meshulam. Just attack the next hitter.
And this is a very scary spot if you're the Spartans, especially where Michigan is right now in their lineup. Top of the order, starting with Kim. He sends this one over to McKay. They send one home, so one run will score, but the double play is made. So we are tied at 8 apiece here. McKay went over to Seymour on second, and then the relay coming over to Bush to the double play on first.
Still a very good sequence by Michigan State to get the double play, despite the run scoring. And so if they're able to get out of this with only one run scored, that would be a victory.
So Timbrook over on third. Voit is batting. This one's going to get sent over to Kark. Kark, the throw, the grab, the out. A beautiful throw from Dylan Kark, but an even better catch coming through from Sam Bush. That one picked beautifully out of the dirt.
Yes, absolutely. Just a really good high-pressure throw by Dylan Kark. And it's hard to get him at that rate, but just a beautiful job.
So we are set up for either extra innings or the Spartans walk it off. I don't know, but we'll have the answers for you in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the bottom of the ninth.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
That one just a bit high. Voit, big lead off over there on first. Nick Williams staying beside him. This one swung on and fouled back, and that one drilled into the press box. That one was sent flying back here with some steam. Making sure that nobody's falling asleep in these extra innings.
And he gave it to a kid, too.
Here's the 1-2. This one swung on and finding the gap. Dresselhaus settles under it, and no runners will advance except for Voit moving over to second. So Voit is held at second. Wolverines not trying to be too aggressive, and Rustich gets the single and takes his base. So Priest now in that lefty box for the Wolverines. Big lead off by Voit. This one swung on and missed. Good pitch down Broadway for Mosadowski. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and foul right on that first base line. Here's the 0-2. Just outside, that one dropping and losing it in the dirt. That one outside once again, counts even at 2 apiece. Here's the 2-2. Just sinking low, counts full. Priest struggling today, 0 for 5. Still hasn't found his groove. This one swung on and missed. Beautiful strikeout for Gavin Milzadowski. And that one right across the heart. And that brings it now to 2 outs.
Yeah, Priest not having too good of a day, but that is a nasty, I can't tell if that's a changeup or a splitter, but that was nasty off-speed pitch. Just absolutely all the life got taken out of it at the last moment.
So still runners on first and second. Third baseman Caruso up to bat. Voit over at second. Rustich still over on first. Caruso 1 for 5 today. Here's the 1-0. Swung on it, missed once again. Beautiful job by Milzadowski. Here's the 1-1. This one finding the gap over McKay. Voit trying to score. He's coming home. He's gonna cross the plate. Runners on the corners for the Wolverines. And that's gonna be an RBI single for Caruso.
That is clutch hitting if I've ever seen it. Knew exactly that he needed just to get something in the outfield. Did exactly that, saw the pitch he wanted, and got it. Got the runner home.
And now we have a split in the tie. Wolverines lead by 1, 9-8. And Brock Lightbag is now stepping into the box. Or excuse me, Joe Longo is now stepping into the box, replacing Lightbag. So pitch hitter coming in at the last moment. So Longo stepping up, batting .288 on the year. Runners on the corners. First pitch swung on, foul tipped, back and behind Thompson.
And Longo started the first 2 games, was the DH for at least one of them, and 0 for 7 so far in the series, but has a pinch hit opportunity to give Michigan a commanding lead in this game.
Here's the 0-1. This one swung on, trying to find the gap. Diving for it was Seymour. Another run will score, and that's Rustich. So 2 runs in for the Wolverines. Joe Longo steps in and is able to get an RBI single. So runners now on first and second, and take a look at this.
Yeah, just put the ball in play and good things will happen. Not an easy play to make by Seymour. Diving attempt was good, but does get the run in. And Michigan now has a 10-8 lead.
So first pitch coming through is a strike for Higgins. So Garcia up to bat, first time today. Here's the 0-1. That one fouled back, so Higgins immediately gets ahead of the count now at 0-2.
That's exactly what you want from your reliever. Just to come in, throw strikes, and not mess around too much.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Coming through across the plate, but just a bit outside. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one low once again. So there's the pinch runner, Velasquez in on first, and then Caruso there on second. Here's the 2-2. Check swing comes through, they go over to third, and Rick Allen says he did not go across. So full count. Get a quick look here at this. It's a good call by Rick Allen over at third base. Here's the full count. Runners go, and it won't matter because it will be a walk. So bases loaded now for the Wolverines, trying to add as much pressure as they can to this Michigan State team.
Yeah, that's tough to fall behind or go ahead 0-2 and then fall behind 3-2 and lose him. But now he just has to get back in it and get focused.
Here's Timbrook now. Timbrook sends this one over to center field, trying to track it down is Ziegler, and Ziegler will. So the Spartans retire the frame, but not after the Wolverines draw 2 runs in the top of the 12th. We'll be back for the bottom of the 12th in just a few moments.
Yeah, right now it's up to McKay.
McKay, good first pitch eye from Ricky Kidd. That pitch from Kidd coming outside for a ball. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, trying to find a gap, and it will. Ryan McKay able to take base as that one slid right across the glove of Timbrook.
If you're Michigan State, that's exactly what you want right off the bat. Literally, no pun intended. So that was great, and now Michigan State needs to follow that up with Williams.
Absolutely, and Christian Williams has struggled today. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and he's seen 4 plate appearances as well. Just hasn't been able to get anything going. He had the fly out over to right, and that one's going to lose the grip over by Hrustich over at that catcher position, and McKay will advance.
Yeah, we've seen Rogers at the catcher position a lot, but when in his absence, Michigan has had some defensive miscues from their catchers, so that'll be interesting to see if that comes into play.
Yeah, so Hrustich in that catcher position. Wolverines have gone through 3 catchers now, including Hrustich. Here's Williams. This one swung on, trying to find a gap. It won't. Settled in by Dernetti, and Dernetti makes the easy throw over to first. So McKay still resides over on second, but now 1 out against the Spartans.
Dernetti has just great range at that shortstop position. And I don't know how, it's just really hard to even quantify how important a good shortstop is.
Absolutely, he's done so much work this series and all year for this Michigan team. Sam Thompson now batting for Michigan State. 5 at-bats today. 2 hits, 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a home run as well. So this one coming across the plate is a strike. Good pitch from Kidd. So substitutions made for the Wolverines. Velasquez in right field. Garcia over in left. Hrustich on that catcher position. Another strike comes through.
That was like 2 curveballs right down the middle.
So there's Velasquez over in right. These extra innings get down, you need to have those substitutions. We've seen a couple from the Spartans. Here's the 1-2. This one poked out over to right, trying to drive. Velasquez trying to get under it, and what a grab! A diving play over in right field, and Velasquez is able to settle under it. And what a better time for that play to happen, going all out, and a beautiful catch.
Yeah, put that on the highlight reel. That is, what a play.
Absolutely, he was able to use his body to his advantage. So Landon Lozier now pinch hitting in the 8 spot. First time seeing the field today. Takes the first pitch high. So 2 outs against the Spartans. And Michigan is 1 out away from becoming victorious here in East Lansing and avoiding the sweep. Here's the 1-0. Strike coming through right across the plate. Ricky Kidd has really shown up in this one, and he's been producing outs trying to close this one.
And Michigan has really come together and shut down this Michigan State team in the later stages.
Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss coming from Lozier. So 1 more strike for Ricky Kidd. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Doors closed in East Lansing. And how about the Kid? Ricky Kidd closes out the Spartans in 12 innings. And Michigan comes away victorious 10-8 after a back and forth affair. And the Spartans will not complete the sweep. Michigan coming into East Lansing, and they played all series so clean.